This is the AbramsX, America's next top tank, and it is using artificial intelligence to identify, track, and even eliminate targets. This new tank is set to revolutionize warfare, and the world desperately needs it. See, the United States have been sending out their classic M1 Abrams tanks from Australia to Ukraine for years. And for a good reason. These tanks are some of the best in the world, barely outclassed by any other country. But that's changing. Battles aren't just fought with vehicles driven by humans. We have drones, AI technology, and even fully autonomous vehicles. So the US has to adapt. And that's where the AbramsX comes in. I'll show you just how crazy this tank can get. First off, the name alone sounds like a video game boss. You have encountered the AbramsX. That's not a name for a tank, that's final form. Anyway, this thing made its debut in 2022 at this really huge military event called the Association of the United States Army Expo. Just take a look at it. As terrifying as it is beautiful, can you call a tank beautiful? Is that weird? The issue is that the AbramsX isn't going to be fully deployable until 2030 at least, so all we have is a taste test. That also means the US will have a totally different president when these get launched. Maybe we'll get a slimmer model for President 2. So what makes the AbramsX so different from the other Abrams tanks? Well, the AbramsX is much lighter than the M1A2, clocking in at 60 tons instead of the M1A2's 68 to 72 tons. It's like the M1A2 did keto, hit the gym, and got a Peloton. That makes it way better at crossing bridges, tight spots, and keeping up with the faster squads like infantry and light vehicles. That weight loss isn't just for aesthetics either. It means faster deployment, better mobility, and less, oh no, the bridge collapsed again moments during combat ops. It's like taking a heavyweight boxer and turning them into a UFC fighter. Still deadly, just way more agile. And get this, the crew, just 3 people. Yup, that's it. Most of it is now controlled remotely or through, well, I'll get to that. The turret, unmanned, all completely remote. Less risk for the crew, more problems for the enemy. The setup is so sci-fi, it feels like the next step is letting the crew watch Netflix in the cockpit while the tank handles business. Also, the layout of the tank is super efficient. Driver on the left, commander in the centre, gunner on the right, each with their own mini command module. They even have their own escape hatch if things get really nasty. Guess you can't do the whole drop a grenade in and close the hatch trick anymore. So what was the new addition? Well, AI, of course. It can identify threats using sensors and cameras, then send that info to drones and infantry. It's basically the tank version of Jarvis from Iron Man, if Jarvis also had a giant gun and trust issues. We're talking 360-degree thermal sights, sensor fusion, and extremely fast data processing. But the really terrifying part, it's essentially semi-autonomous, meaning it can make decisions on its own in certain combat situations. Just take a second here. We're officially getting into warfare where robots will be fighting other robots, all making lightning quick decisions and pin-perfect shots without a single human in harm's way. That's really great. Except I can't help but think of Skynet here. Robots are really doing everything now, eh? What's next? Robots making YouTube videos? Moving on, the AbramsX's main cannon can shoot 3 types of rounds: mid-range munitions, advanced multi-purpose munitions, and advanced kinetic energy shells. That last one is basically like a metal railgun designed to take down giant armoured machines. It will punch through armour like it's cardboard. Each type of round is tailored for a different threat. Got a group of infantry in a building? AMP rounds got you. Need to engage another armoured vehicle? Kinetic energy shells say hello, but it gets better. The reloading system is done entirely automatically, like the tank does it itself. The crew just needs to pick the vibe, and the cannon delivers. Meanwhile, there's a separate roof turret that's remote controlled, so you can technically be playing Call of Duty or still operating it. Actually, please don't do that. The autoloader reduces the need for a dedicated loader, freeing up space and reducing risk, while also speeding up reload time. The remote turret, armor-wise, of course it's built like a tank, but it also has this really cool thing called explosive reactive armor. The science behind this is wild. When hit, the outer armor detonates just enough to disrupt the incoming projectile's energy, making it less deadly. It's like wearing a suit made out of airbags that explode outward instead of inward. Basically, if it gets hit by a shell, it punches itself in the face just right. So the damage is spread out and manageable. It's like tactical self-slap defense. It's also got radar sensors all over the turret, countermeasure launchers like it's a Bond car, and it uses 50% less fuel than the M1A2. Because surprise, it's a hybrid. That's right, the Prius of death machines. And when it goes into hybrid mode, it can roll silently, which means it can sneak up on you when you're least expecting it. Never thought I'd be jump scared of a tank that weighs over 60 tons. This kind of fuel efficiency also means longer missions without refueling, which is crucial in battle zones where stopping means vulnerability. Now some people are saying tanks are old news, especially with all these drones going on there. How do I say this? Unaliving missions. No people inside, just full throttle towards you. But the AbramsX is built to adapt. Its AI isn't just used to detect nearby threats. It can look through physical barriers like smoke and terrain, and even through the Earth's curvature to see threats beyond line of sight. So it can engage with an enemy it can't even really see. You combine that with a real-time data sharing with drones and infantry, and it seems like the AbramsX is unstoppable, if it ever exists. 2030 is still a long way away, so in the meantime, the world will have to deal with the original M1 Abrams. But that isn't such a bad thing. The M1 Abrams has been the backbone of US armoured forces for decades, and for good reason. The M1 Abrams is equipped with a 120mm XM256 smoothbore cannon that can deliver serious firepower. We're talking accurate shots at more than 3,000 meters out, so if it sees you, you're basically toast. And it's not just one gun either. This bad boy is stacked with lots of secondary weapons, making it a mobile fortress on treads. Originally used by both the US Army and Marine Corps, the Abrams was so iconic that even Russia took notes and tried to develop something similar. Eventually, the Marine Corps retired their armor units, so now it's just the army rolling deep in these iron chariots. The tank is powered by a gas turbine engine that cranks out over 1,500 horsepower, giving it a top tier mix of raw power and smooth performance. It's got a range of about 270 miles on a full tank, basically enough to get you to the fight and back with some room for detours. The history of the M1 Abrams is as legendary as the tank itself. Back in the 1960s, the US and West Germany teamed up for a tag team project called the MBT-70. The goal? Build a next-gen tank to take on the Soviet Union's T-62. This prototype had some crazy ideas: hydropneumatic suspension, a 152mm gun, and that same 1,500 horsepower engine. But it was also hella expensive. Compared to the original intended costs, the MBT-70's cost was almost 5 times more. So you can create about 1 or 2, then, well, hope you don't lose them. So along came General Dynamics, the real MVPs, who stepped in during the 1980s and birthed the M1 Abrams. Over 3,000 units were made, and they went all in on upgrades. One of the biggest was the switch to Chobham armour, a super secret armour formula that combines ceramic tiles, elastic layers, and metal to absorb and deflect blasts. Although we don't know the exact armour specifications, what with it being government secrets and all, we do know that this armour seemed nigh impenetrable. The early models also came with a 105mm Royal Ordnance L7 gun, before levelling up to the 120mm version we know today, and then came the digital glow-up. In 1990, the M1A2 variant dropped, with a new inter-vehicle information system. Basically, tank commanders could now see real-time updates about their location and enemy positions. Commanders went from playing checkers to chess, all thanks to one tank. The Abrams family has been a staple in almost every major conflict since. From Desert Storm to the present, these tanks have been front and centre, flexing on enemy armour and helping define what a modern tank should be. More recently, M1 Abrams units were sent to support Ukraine in their war against Russia, proving that even after all these years, the Abrams still has a few punches left to throw. But the US isn't the only country with some serious firepower. Meet the ZTZ-99. It's China's top tier main battle tank, and it's basically the love child of a Soviet T-72 and some real modern day Iron Man tech. It's been around since the 90s, but the latest versions, they've gone full science fiction. They just announced they're slapping on this active protection system, which is like the tank equivalent of a Jedi deflecting blaster bolts. It's got 2 little launchers and 4 radar domes, all designed to basically yeet incoming missiles out of the sky. Is it appropriate to say yeet about military tech? Yeah, why not? Anyway, if someone fires an RPG at this thing, it's not ducking, it's punching that thing right out of the air. And get this, that APS system called the GL6 is legit scary. It's been tested on other tanks like the VT4A1, and it's been super effective at knocking out all kinds of threats. Anti-tank missiles, high explosive rounds, my hopes and dreams too. It's not just reactive armour anymore, this is preemptive armour. It sees the danger and handles it. The base tank itself is no joke either. It's rocking a 125mm smoothbore cannon, the kind that can ruin your day from over a mile away. It shoots everything from armour-piercing darts to guided missiles, and it's all powered by this 1,500 horsepower diesel beast that can push it to 80 km/h. That's fast. But seriously, when you combine all this firepower with the kind of tech that intercepts threats before they even land, you're basically looking at the tank version of Try Me. And now with this new APS setup that gives 360-degree protection. It's like the tank equivalent of being wrapped in plot armour. China's not playing around. This thing's not just a flex at parades anymore, it's built for real battlefield survivability. And with the upgrades they're doing now, it's not just about punching harder, it's about not getting punched at all. The previous British Prime Minister Boris Johnson once said that tanks would be a thing of the past. But with China and the US leading the charge, I think that tank warfare is only getting stronger. Who knows what 2050 will be like? Or if the US goes to war with China. If you're interested in that, check out my video on the US versus the world on my channel. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.